Greetings this Thursday. We're starting off on a very serious note, weather-wise, as most everyone I think is well aware as long as you've been indoors and near any sort of a communication device. Showers, thunderstorms, severe weather, tornado warnings, watches being posted across parts of Kentucky. For the viewing area specifically, if you're watching the 6 o'clock show, with the exception of a severe thunderstorm warning in Moorhead and Rowan County, no other severe weather threats closer than that to us. That is quickly changing at this hour. We'll go ahead and cover a few headlines, and then we'll take a close look at your weather forecast and situations that are developing, as indeed we are under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock. That is for most everyone in the eastern Kentucky area. On a lighter note, compared to that, I do believe a flash flood watch in effect until midnight, and that's going to be for those folks who get in on some of these cells that are dumping upwards of an inch to 2 inches of rain in just a matter of a few moments. Wind, hail, lightning, all those factors also associated with the storms that have been popping up. It has been intensely hot and maybe even more so muggy out there today, and that's helping add fuel to the fire. We'll have a look at current conditions and warnings in just a few moments. Headlines tonight before that will include an arrest in the J&J General Store Robbery and some startling details about the suspect that's been taken into custody and lodged in the Juvenile Detention Center. We'll have that, also a few other cases, and one that you just simply, you'd be hard pressed to make up a story of this nature. A couple arrested on assault charges as a female was said to be high on drugs, lighting a cigarette on her burning home after stabbing her husband, a fire which started from a meth lab explosion believed by police in Johnson County. We'll hear from a deputy there. Bears, quite commonplace right now, and in the downtown Sagersville area as well. A brief look at that and other information before we leave you. So we'll take you right now to the J&J General Store for an interview that began last week, a story that began last week, and then after that to the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, where they did make an arrest in a case involving an armed robbery at the J&J General Store that I brought you first last week. The arrest involving a young man under the age of 18.
Well, I was standing behind the counter here, and he came in, waiting on a customer. He came in with a gun. He had a face mask, a little bandana, and demanded cash. So I gave him cash out of the register and got a carton of cigarettes. He ran out and exited out toward the fire department. I went around trying to see which direction he went in, but he was gone before I got out there.
Afterward, Magoffin County Sheriff Carson Montgomery and his deputies arrived and began their investigation, which led them to the South Magoffin Volunteer Fire Department, only feet away from the general store. It was there that the suspect was caught, unbeknownst to him, on surveillance video, as we showed you the day of the robbery before he put his mask on, pacing about just for a few moments before he would walk into the store and pull a gun on the owner. Sheriff Montgomery says that video, which aired on our program, helped them make a connection in the case and confirm an identity of what we have learned is a juvenile at the age of 17 who may have had accomplices.
We followed up all leads. We had several leads. We did get the individual identified off the video that you ran for us. Positively identified. And yesterday afternoon, approximately 1:30, with the assistance of the Kentucky State Police, myself and deputies took into custody a 17-year-old male juvenile in Floyd County in the David area. And he is lodged in the Ritt County Detention Center at this time. We do believe he is the gunman that robbed J&J General Store.
Early on, you thought there was also the possibility that he had accomplices. What's your thought on that now in the investigation?
Today, I still believe there will be more arrests made in this. He didn't act alone, I don't feel.
Montgomery also says that in addition to interviewing the suspect, who has still denied any wrongdoing or any involvement in the case, he's also spoken to the teen's parents and confirmed that he had left home days before.
The way I understand, he has run away from home, and at this time he was a runaway again. They hadn't saw him in several days till we took him into custody yesterday, and they came and talked to him.
Has he accepted any responsibility for it?
No, he didn't accept any responsibility at all.
While, as you heard, the Magoffin County Sheriff's Office is confident that they have the right suspect, the 17-year-old is claiming that he is innocent to this point, but he is yet to make a plea in court. His court date is set for this coming Monday. He will appear, I believe, before District Judge Dennis Prater. He's also 17 years of age, but only about 3 weeks or so from turning 18. There is a great possibility that should he be tried, he would be tried as an adult in the case. I confirmed through Magoffin County Attorney Greg Allen earlier today that robbery in the first charge is a Class B felony. It carries a penalty of no less than 10 years in prison and no more than 20 years in prison, anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 in fines. And as the sheriff said, the individual, the juvenile, may be also facing additional charges. He was discovered at a friend's residence and still technically a runaway from home. And once again, other arrests are possible. Case which we are closely watching for some information which I may have before I leave you, and that is the armed robbery and home invasion that you may recall that took place sometime back of Hazel and Orville Adams on 114. Well, that case was to come today to a court proceeding where two of the men accused of going into their home, holding them at gunpoint, the violent home invasion and robbery that we, of course, outlined for days and weeks and months since. From what I understand, the prosecutor was working out a plea deal possibly in the case, as those two individuals could be facing, I believe, upwards, maybe even life in prison. Nevertheless, that was to be a court hearing earlier today. We will have any developments tonight or tomorrow, just as soon as I have those in studio. With that said, we're getting close to your weather forecast, and then, of course, more headlines following these messages.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
A few other reports coming in to local law enforcement in Magoffin and Johnson counties in the last 24 hours. Detail first an assault that has netted a Magoffin County man in the Big Sandy Detention Center facing several charges, as well as a fire that completely destroyed a mobile home in Johnson County that netted 2 arrests, as well as an ongoing investigation with many, many details surrounding that report. We'll begin with the arrest of a Ben Simmons in Magoffin County who is facing assault and other charges after an altercation and incidents that took place yesterday afternoon.
Magoffin County Sheriff Carson Montgomery says that he received his first complaint on 30-year-old Benjamin Simmons yesterday via the telephone about an incident where he was threatening individuals with a baseball bat on Route 30, and literally while on that call, he received another complaint that Simmons was at another location further up Route 30 and that he had busted the front door glass out of a residence, and that glass struck a female in the face who was standing behind the door, causing her some injuries. Upon arrival of Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, they did take into custody, after some doing, Ben Simmons, who was ultimately charged with resisting, menacing, disorderly conduct in the 2nd degree, terroristic threatening, assault in the 1st degree, criminal mischief, assault in the 4th degree as well. He was said to have assaulted an individual, a male, with the baseball bat at the first residence, and then the female was assaulted when the glass shattered from the door that he knocked out with that baseball bat at the 2nd location. The Kentucky State Police also, I think, assisted in that arrest, and if one of their charges is not one of those already mentioned, they were going to possibly be adding assault of a police officer charges to this list.
You can chalk this next report up as to the kind of sad story that you just would find hard-pressed to make up. A female said to be high or under the influence of drugs, says police, who was in the process of trying to light her cigarette on her burning home after stabbing her husband, a fire that reportedly, they believe at this time, may have began by a meth lab incident.
Responding to the call and talking to us via telephone is Johnson County Sheriff's Deputy Byron Fairchild.
First initial call was W.R. Castle structure fire off of US 23 at Grim Hollow. The fire department immediately recognized that a female was running around on scene under the influence. She was actually getting really close to the fire and trying to light cigarettes off the burning house. So I was dispatched to that, and prior to my arrival, dispatch had hollered at me and let me know that there was a stabbing victim from the burning house at Palby Hall. It turns out that it was a domestic disturbance. The female alleged that the man had beat her, and she admitted to stabbing him in the chest with a butcher knife. And during this, she advised that her husband was cooking meth inside of the trailer, and we suspect that's the cause of the house fire, but at this time that's still under investigation, an arson and meth lab investigation.
Both still in the Big Sandy jail. Ashley Moore was charged with assault in the first degree, domestic violence, public intoxication of a controlled substance excluding alcohol, resisting arrest, menacing, and disorderly conduct. Arthur Castle is facing a charge of assault in the fourth degree. I'll be right back.
More headlines and an all-important weather forecast forthcoming in just a moment. Right now, a quick update from tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar that starts off with a few, and we'll say, big birthdays this evening.
I had a bunch of calls on this one, and I'll leave it at that. From family, friends, everybody at the Magoffin County Rescue Squad here at the newsroom, and all those who told me to wish him well, happy 66th birthday to Carter Conley. Happy birthday. And I've got birthday wishes tonight from Jackie, a whole lot of family and friends. Happy birthday wishes going out to Stacy and to Michelle tonight, both celebrating their birthday today. Happy birthday. A reminder, the annual Relay for Life in Magoffin County is tomorrow at North Magoffin Elementary. It starts at 6 tomorrow night with special guest Terry Miller and the Bridge. And you know what it's like. You know all the fun entertainment and, of course, all the sentiment that you can count on for the evening with, of course, luminary ceremonies and other parts of the annual event that all begins tomorrow night at 6. They hope you'll join them in finding a cure and fighting cancer. The Relay for Life, tomorrow night, 6, North Magoffin. Vacation Bible School starts Monday of next week, and it's nightly through Friday, 6 to 8:30 at Hope in the Cross on Burning Fork Road. The theme this year, The Master's Pasture, where little lambs learn to trust the Good Shepherd. The weather's going to clear up just in time for a perfect Saturday for the first annual horse show sponsored by the Syersville Fire Department. So bring yourself, friends, family, bring a lawn chair if you can, and come down. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 4. 37 classes for the KBIF pointed show, and they're going to have concessions, great snacks, and everything you would expect from the annual event that starts this Saturday. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 4 at the Equestrian Park on 460 out of Syersville. And this Monday, the Magoffin County Health Department is offering free pap smears to any ladies out there 21 to 65 who do not have medical coverage. This is 8 till 1 this coming Monday. Call 349-6212 tomorrow to make an appointment. A pap test is very important, recommended for women ages 21 to 65 to detect cervical cancer and precancer. The test is free. If you don't have insurance, call 349-6212. And from our friends at the Magoffin County Funeral Home, funeral service announcements to be made tonight. First off, a reminder about services to be held in the morning at 11 for 88-year-old Oma Shepherd Stone of Royalton, who passed away on the 20th, survived by her husband Claude, sons Carl Clark, Jeff and Jesse Wireman, and daughters Inez Jenkins, Anita Bailey, Maxine Simpson, Marlene Howard, Nadine Fraley, and Josie Bailey. Visitation continues tonight, and services are tomorrow morning at 11 from the Magoffin County Funeral Home Chapel. Services are also tomorrow at 1 from the Syersville Funeral Home in honor of 45-year-old Harold Poe of Syersville, son of Brenda Preston Poe and the late Harold Ray Poe. Besides his mother, he's survived by his son, Trenton Reed, and daughters Brittany Maynard, Madison Reed, Cara Beth Poe, and Palin Poe, with visitation continuing this evening up until tomorrow's services. Once again from the Syersville Funeral Home. And 34-year-old James Randall Collins of Gunlock passed away this week, the son of Melvin Dale Collins and Judy Hill. Besides his parents, he's survived by his wife, Stephanie Howard Collins, and daughters Tara Lachey and Jesse James Collins. Visitation is going to start after 7 o'clock tomorrow. It will continue all day Saturday and prior to Sunday services that begin at 1, all from the Salt Lick Baptist Church. Burial will be after. It's at the Howard Family Cemetery at Gunlock. The Magoffin County Funeral Home is handling all the arrangements.